Hi, everybody, and welcome to this course on conflict management. My name is Greg Bennett. I'm your host, and I thought I'd give you a little bit of information about myself so that you can see who I am and why it is I'm teaching this course. So, I've been a public health professional for 22 years out of a 28-year career. I've got an honours degree in environmental health. I'm a voting member of the Chartered Institute of Environmental Health. I've got a NEBOSH diploma in occupational safety and health, and I've also got a diploma in management. From that was just the beginning. I built on all of that information and all those qualifications through a 28-year career. The last of 10 of which have been in consultant roles for in a public health setting and in leadership consultancy and coaching settings. So that's why I set up letsworkhealthy.com, and I hope that you take from that I have something to offer to you in terms of coaching you and teaching you on leadership subjects. And this one, conflict management, is one that's very close to my heart. It's something I've been studying and refining and honing. All right, so the way this course is going to work is that I'm going to just talk and also use screen grab stuff so you can see from what I'm doing, what it is that you're going to be able to follow along with. Along with that, you've got course handouts, the PDFs that are in the documents that you'll be able to download, and they accompany what I'm saying and work well with what I'm sort of presenting. But you'll also see PowerPoint presentations that go past so you can follow along with those if you'd rather just read the course materials at the end. In fact, it's probably better that you read the course materials at the end and just follow along with the videos as we go. This course is on successful conflict management. It's been developed for leadership professionals, like you and I. And the basis of it is that it's going to be drawing on current and historic research and evidence-based or empirical evidence in the social sciences and psychology fields that show us how we can change the way we deal with conflict or manage conflict for successful outcomes. We're going to explore the theoretical principles, and then we're going to look at practical, real-world things that you can do and how you can approach conflict to be much better at conflict management. As we know, as you can see from the graphic there, if you mishandle any kind of conflict, devastating results can happen. And we're going to go into a lot more of that in the later lectures. So here's the course content, as you can see. There's 20 lectures. Each one's a different learning outcome, and from that we can hopefully see that there is a better way to manage conflict. It starts off talking about why it's important that we do this, and then it goes through the history of how we got to where we are now, going through all the different ways of looking at conflict, breaking it down into its various component parts, tackling each of those component parts so that we can break it down into smaller bite-sized chunks. After that, we can learn about the nitty-gritties of negotiating and strategies that you can use to come out of conflicts with both you and the person that you're in conflict with feeling like the conflict has been successfully managed. All right, so each of those lectures has got a PDF that you'll be able to download too, and then there'll be assignments at the end of those PDFs so that you can consolidate what we've learned in the videos and see how you get on. So team leadership or leadership in general, either at a supervisor, team leader, middle manager or executive level, is always going to involve conflict, either in negotiating the conflicts of people who report to you to acting as in a mediator role, or conflicts with those people yourself, performance management issues, personality clashes, that kind of thing. As we know, as we've already said, conflict's unavoidable. In any relationship, there's going to be disagreements. And if we mishandle those conflicts, those relationships are going to be damaged. And from that point on, it's a lost cause. But the trick is to recognize that actually conflicts, although we all naturally perceive them as a really bad thing, are actually a good thing. Conflicts allow you to dig under the surface of what's going on, stuff that's not being said, beliefs that are held, opinions that are held that aren't being shared and are causing roadblocks in successful management of situations. And it's not the conflicts that are the problem, it's the way we handle the conflicts. And if we can get a handle on dealing with conflict successfully in a way that doesn't cause abject terror and stress, then we actually might start to seek out those conflicts to bottom out problems with people. So it's quite exciting if we can get this right. As part of that, we need to understand about goal alignment, and we'll talk about this in a lot of depth in the lectures that are coming. So the course covers goal alignment. It talks about where the sort of journey of conflict management has traveled through to get to where we are now, and what we can learn from each stage of that. It also helps us learn how to utilize what's called the adversarial system, which is kind of what we're stuck with already. So we need to understand how to operate within it. We're going to explore why conflicts tend to escalate and cause harm when they don't need to, and what we can do to stop that. We're going to just find a better way of handling it. So we're going to learn about a lot of this research that's been done, and we're going to look at it. We're going to look at the stats and data. And I want to introduce you to a few names, a few people who have been very prevalent in this field, if you like. First one's Morton Deutsch. He's known as the father of conflict management, and we'll talk about him in lecture 3, I think it is. Then there's Roger Fisher, William Ury, and John Gottman. These are all people who've had huge influence on how conflicts manage and how we can be better at it. So the first part of the course is going to cover the drivers behind conflict, perspectives, and help you understand why perspective in a conflict is important, and actually show you that often people don't see things the way you think they see them or the way you see them. And that gives us a bit of insight into what's really going on in a conflict setting. We're going to look at emotions. It's not soft, fluffy, sort of limp-wristed stuff that we're dealing with here. We're going to go into depth on the emotions side of things, and you'll understand that emotions are there to stay and you can't do anything about them. So we need to manage them, and we need strategies for managing them. Power. Again, there's a whole lecture on this, and we're going to need to understand the difference between where particularly if there's a manager and subordinate relationship, where the power sits in that conflict, if you like, and where you need it to sit if you're going to get that conflict resolved successfully or managed successfully. We're going to cover goal setting techniques and goal discovery techniques. People haven't always got the goal that you think they've got. Different styles of conflict we'll cover, and how to manage conflict, strategies that you can use to sort of circumnavigate the traditional way that a conflict normally plays out. Obviously, we're going to look at negotiation. Negotiation is important because conflicts often get resolved in a way that means that when you come out of the other side of it, been successful at the negotiation phase, if you like. So you need some strategies and techniques on negotiation. And then the second half of the course is going to look at the organizational and professional side. So in larger organizations where there's a hierarchy and where you sit at various levels within that hierarchy, we're going to see how you can amend and change your strategy so that you don't fall foul of the things like bullying, power plays, that kind of stuff. That leads us on to the role of the leader. If you're further up in the organization, and particularly this is where this course is aimed at, how you navigate that leadership subordinate sort of interaction. And then under the title, What Happens When the Dust Settled, on the slide there, when this course is all done and finished, how you prepare yourself to make sure that you go on managing conflict successfully and don't slip back into your old ways. All right, so that's the course content, a little bit about me and the scope of the course, and I'll see you in lecture 1.